Reading from Arabian Nights. We come to night 303. Morning now dawned, and Scheherazade broke off from what she had been allowed to say. Then, when it was the 303rd night, she continued, I have heard, O fortunate king, that Abu Mohammed said, I dismounted and greeted him and sat with him, having with me 10 black slaves and Mamluks. Perhaps you have said some need that I may be able to fulfill. The Sharif said to me, Yes, I said, I do need something. And when he asked me what this was, I told him that I had come to ask for his daughter's hand in marriage. You have no money, reputation, a good family, he told me. At which I brought out a purse containing 1,000 dinars, red and gold, and said, This is my reputation. Did we read that already? This is it. What? The money? The money. This is my reputation and lineage. The Prophet, may God bless him and give him peace, and said, Money is an excellent reputation, and how admirable are the lines of a poet. If someone owns 2 dinars, his lips have learned and can speak words of every kind. His companions come to listen to him, and you see him moving hauntily among the crowds. Were it not for the dinars in which he takes such pride, you would find him in the worst of states among the people. If a rich man says something wrong, the people say, You may be right, and what you say is not impossible. But if a poor man speaks the truth, they say, You are a liar. What you say is wrong. Money invests a man with dignity and beauty in all lands. Money is the tongue of those who seek eloquence and the weapon of whoever wants to fight. After the Sharif had listened to what I had to say and had understood the point of my lines, he looked down at the ground for a while and then raised his head and said, If this has to be, I want another 3,000 dinars from you. To hear is to pay, I answered. I then sent out one of the Mamluks to my house. When this man had returned with the money that the Sharif had demanded, he had seen it, he left his shop, telling his servants to lock it up. And after he had invited his friends from the market to come to his house, he wrote a marriage contract for me and his daughter, telling me that he would bring me in to her after 10 days. I went back home in a state of delight. When I was alone with the monkey, I told him what had happened to me, and he congratulated me. Then when the time set by the Sharif came near, the monkey said to me, I want you to do something for me. If you do, then you can have whatever you want from me. I asked him what this was, and he told me, At the top end of the room in which you will sleep with the Sharif's daughter, there is a cupboard whose door is fastened with a brass ring. The keys are under the ring. Take them and open the door, and you will find an iron chest whose 4 corners are 4 talismanic legs. In the middle of it there is a basin full of money, while beside it there are 11 snakes, and in the basin a white cock is tied up. Beside the chest is a knife. Take this knife and cut the cock's throat, and then cut the flags in pieces and overturn the chest. After that, you can come out and deflower your bride. This is what I want you to do. To hear is to obey, I replied. I went to the Sharif's house, and when I entered the room, I saw the cupboard that the monkey had described. And when I found myself alone with my bride, I was astonished and delighted by her indescribable beauty and grace, together with the symmetry of her form. At midnight, when she was asleep, I got up, and after taking the keys, I opened the cupboard, and I took the knife. I killed the cock, threw down the flags, and overturned the chest. My bride was woke up, and when she saw that the chest had been opened and the cock killed, she exclaimed, "There is no might and no power except with God the Most High, Omnipotence. That the Murad has got me." Before she had finished speaking, the Murad had swooped on the house and carried her off. In the commotion that followed, the Sharif came in, striking his own face. "What have you done to us?" Abu Muhammad exclaimed, "and is this how you repay us? I made this talisman in the cupboard as I was afraid for my daughter because of this damned Murad, who has been trying unsuccessfully to take her for 6 years. This is no place left for you here, so go on your way." I left the Sharif's house, and after returning to my own, I looked for the monkey, but failed to find him. Indeed, in any trace of him. So I realized that he was the Murad who had taken my bride and had tricked me into destroying the talisman and the cock, which had stood in his way. In my regret, I tore my clothes and struck my own face. Nowhere could I find ease, so I left immediately, making for the desert, and walked on until evening, too preoccupied to notice where I was going. Then suddenly, 2 snakes came towards me, one dark and the other white. They were fighting each other. I picked up a rock from the ground and used it to kill the dark one, which had been the aggressor. The white snake went out of sight for a while and then came back with 10 other white snakes. They approached the dead snake and tore it into bits, leaving nothing but its head, after which they went away. I was so tired that I lay down where I was. While I was lying there thinking over what had happened to me, I heard a voice, although I could not see no one there. The voice was reciting these lines. "Leave the fates to move unchecked, and pass the night free from care. In the blink of an eye, God changes one state to another." When I heard that, Commander of the Faithful, I was very worried and concerned. Then from behind me I heard more lines being recited. "Muslim, guided by the Quran, be glad, for you have reached safety. Have no fear of the seductions of the devil. We are people who follow true belief." I said, "Conjure you by the trust of the God whom you worship to tell me who you are." I disembodied. The disembodied voice then took human shape and said, "Have no fear. We know about your good deed, and we belong to the jinn who believe in the Prophet. If there is anything that you need, tell us, and we will carry it out." "I do have a great need," I replied, "as I have suffered a great misfortune, whose like has probably not afflicted anyone else." "Are you perhaps Abu Muhammad the Sluggard?" the newcomer asked. When I said that I was, he said, "Abu Muhammad, I am the brother of the white snake whose enemy you killed. You are 4 full brothers, and we are 4 full brothers, and we owe you a deep gratitude for the service you did us. You must know that it was a Murad of the jinn who took the shape of a monkey and played the trick on you, for otherwise he would never have been able to take the girl. He had loved her for a long time and had wanted to carry her off, but the talisman prevented him, and had it remained, he would not have been able to reach her. But don't distress yourself over this, for we will bring you to your bride and kill the Murad, and the good deed you did us will not go unrewarded." He then gave a great and terrible cry. We are reading the end of night 303. We had read from the Arabian Nights, night 303. That's not by Richard Burton. Translation, Malcolm Lyons. Penguin Classics. That's quite a story, huh?